Well, hello, this is Peter Combs from BidAmount.com, and today is Friday, October 13th, 2017, and this is our regular weekly look back to see how things did on eBay. And we're also going to talk a little bit at the end of this video about this fabulous piece of Ruware that sold in Hong Kong a couple of weeks ago. It's been in the news. A lot of you have seen it, but we're going to take a look at that at the end and talk about the articles that appeared with it and so forth. So we'll get started and then we'll get over to that. All right. Last week there were some great things that turned up in the market last week. Also, the Eden auction that that sold all the reproductions had their sale last weekend, and we'll see how many of them, the items that were purportedly sold, reappear in future auctions. That seems to happen down there with some regularity. This is last week's newsletter. There were a lot of good things in here, and they got some very good prices for things. The market seems to be quite vibrant. And we're going to start with this. There was this particular seller had up a number of good silks. Rather nice late 19th century silk panels that became available. I'm not sure where he got them all, but beautiful quality on gold thread. There were numerous panels, and they all sold, I think, pretty reasonably. This one went for $328. This was our guy Pud. 77 Pud is a seller out in Ohio. It was a very nice panel, and they all brought sort of in the $300 to $500 range. Good opportunity if you're a collector of Chinese silk. I can't say it often enough. eBay, a lot of it appears on here, and some very good examples. And then there was this rather nice, it was a late 19th century silver mounted sort of a court necklace with coral and turquoise, and a rather nice piece of jade right in the center of it. Here's a shot of it, nice of a Fu lion, and beautifully carved and well fitted into this nice signed silver case, and it did great. It brought $2,247, which is a good price for that. I think that did just fine. That's also this fellow Pud, 77 Pud. And then there was this. This was a nice, very nice Kangxi Amari, Chinese Amari covered pot with very interestingly shaped handles. Good example with a little brown dressing on the rim. Nice decoration. The gilding all seemed to be in good shape. There's a side view of it. Here's the interior. Nice piece. There's the foot. It did well. It brought $455 from seller Welcome All Friends. They get good things from time to time. This was a rather nice piece if you're a collector of Chinese Amari, early Amari. And then there was this. This was a rather nice brush holder. And these don't turn up too often. It's a late 19th century one. It had a Chin Lung mark on it. I don't think it was Chin Lung, obviously. But it was a good authentic one, probably made in the late 19th century. Very nice quality decoration, all done in iron red. There's the whole piece. And sort of an odd thing to turn up on eBay, but I think somebody got a great buy on it. It went for $500, which is not a lot for one of these, for a scholar's object. Nice scholar's table brush handle, beautifully done. And then there was this. I'm not sure if this is the same one that was sold a few weeks ago when it was being re-offered. It looks a little different to me, but this is a really fine example of Yongchen Chinese porcelain, beautifully done with this lotus central reserve and nice iron red bordering all the way around it. Good example. And if it is the same one as the one a few weeks ago, it brought almost exactly the same price again, $1,474. It may not have been paid for. That does happen on eBay sometimes, as we all know. Shame on you if you don't pay your bill. And this was a very, there we go, nice aubergine porcelain incense burner, beautifully done, nice looking foot on it. Looked to be either an 18th or a 19th century one, probably late 18th century, judging by the quality of the color. They did do a lot of aubergine examples during the Kangxi period too, and occasionally you'll find them in vases. And this one did pretty well. What did it bring? It brought $1,605. So I guess a lot of people thought it might be Kangxi based on that price. I wouldn't disagree with them necessarily on it. Nice piece. And there was this nice piece of lacquer on a silver liner, beautifully done with gold ground. Good example. This was a nice, like Chinese lacquer. This was a nice one. All right, an early one too. Probably late 18th century. And it did okay. It only had 2 bids and went for $300. But that was, I think, a very reasonable buy. And then this was up. This was very nice. 18th century Femi-Vert charger. This was a big plate. It was around 14 inches wide, as I recall. Here's the back of it with this nice, this sort of signature, these track foot rims they used to put on things. But this was a good example. It had nice decoration. There was some question in the seller's mind whether it was maybe Kangxi or Yongchen period. It looks like a Kangxi one to me, but I'll let you decide. And it went for $1,651, not an unreasonable amount for a piece of this size. And it was in good condition. Condition is so important. And this was another one. There seemed to be a week for big chargers on here. This was a really nice mid to late 19th century double dragon charger. Here's the back of it. Okay, obviously a later piece with the bamboo leaf decoration around the back, but very precisely drawn. Had very good drawing. There's some detail of the dragons, just really well done. Very ferocious. And this charger did pretty well. It brought $1,000 for that. It was a big piece. It was 37 centimeters. So do the math on it. It was about 14 and a half, 15 inches wide. Nice big plate. And someone had, I forget who this is, but they had a nice late 19th century honest lacquer storage, little lacquer storage box. Here it is open. There it is. A little tiny bit of losses here and there, but pretty typical. You can see the brass liner around it. There's the decoration. Nicely done, nice color. It hasn't been cleaned or messed with. And it did pretty well. It brought $595. And as the seller said, it had, oh, this is that seller in Germany we watch, yes, Steinpierre Stone. Nice little box. He's a good picker. He gets things from time to time. Worth watching. And then there was this really nice, this was early, probably late Ming, textile sort of kisi panel with figures in a landscape and a woman crossing a bridge. Nice early textile, very good color, and caught my eye a few weeks ago when it first went up. I thought this was wonderful, and it did pretty well. It brought $2,499. It had 35 bids. A lot of interest in that. Early textiles on eBay. This is where they turn up. And then there was the really fine Buddha porcelain. These Buddha porcelain figures are sort of common. They turn up everywhere in different forms, often with that sort of brickwork ground on them. This was a nice one. It was signed and sealed in two places, the marks, and thickly done, and did very well. It brought, what did it bring? It brought over $5,000, $5,513. But look at the quality of the work on it. Let's see if we can get a good look at this. The decoration on this was really outstanding. This was beautifully done example. And also it had a nice smooth creamy paste on the bottom, and beautifully done. So there you go, $5,513, not bad. And then there was this carved lacquer seated Kuan Yin figure. Now, in the photographs, we accidentally put this twice in the newsletter. I don't know how that happened, but we did it. If you saw it twice, we did that. Is a seated Kuan Yin with a lotus pod under her arm. She's clutching a scroll, and this is carved wood and lacquer. And this was a big piece, and I think somebody got a great buy on this. This thing was 15 inches tall. This was a big. Always check the dimensions. Most of these wooden figures that you see like this are maybe 6 or 7 or 8 inches at the most. This was double that. It was a 15-inch carving. I think somebody got a great buy for a piece this big. There it is. Lovely example. And they bought it for $580. Very good buy from Egmont Horn over in the UK. He gets good things. He's a good buy. He's a good buyer. He's a good dealer. And then there was this really nice sort of Kangxi extended neck vase with the dragon's loop handles and rings on the side. Good example. This was nicely done. There's the foot rim on it. All right, and it did pretty well. Where's the price on this thing? Hold on. There it is. $2,858. But that's a nice piece. Rather unusual that the handles aren't broken. Often they are on those. And also this very attractive pair of cafe au lait, and these are sort of unusual pair of cups with faux lions on a cafe au lait ground with this sort of Femi-Vert decoration. Here are the bottoms of them. Nice looking 18th century cups in pretty good shape. I think one of them had a minor condition issue or something, but nothing too dramatic. And this was the seller was Sairfair, who gets good things. He's also in the UK. And they brought $617 for the pair. I don't think that was a bad buy. I think that because I don't recall having seen a pair of these for a long time. They don't turn up very often. And then there was this export piece. This was a crucifixion scene. Those of you that collect export porcelain know what it is. It had a bit of wear up here on the Christ figure, on the cross, but and on this fellow's head. But this is a very rare plate. These crucifixion scenes are quite rare. And it didn't bring a ton of money. It was about 4 or 5 inches in diameter. It brought $143. So somebody that buys Chinese export got a very nice buy, I think, on that. And then slipping over here, this was another great buy. This is replacement sterling 925 was the seller. These people are apparently some sort of charity organization that sell things that are donated, according to their write-up anyway. They service disabled veterans and that sort of thing. And they had 3 of these plates, and they all brought about the same money. These are nice 18th century. They're small. They're 4 or 5 inches in diameter each. But somebody, I hope this one person bought them all. They got a good deal, $39 or so a piece. I think one went for $35. Very reasonable. These were a good buy overall. They really were. And then there was this rather nice big Wan Li. They called it a Clampetts bowl. And but good decoration on it, nice quality decoration in the cavetto with those oblong cartouches, in the central scene of a boat going amongst islands, sort of wending its way through here, almost like a landscape scene going back with this nice floral rim on it. Here's the back of it, crackware. It had an old price on it of $1,700. It seems a little steep, but at any rate, it went here for $610. Very reasonable price for an attractive bowl like that that's well painted. He had another one that wasn't as well painted, and it brought about $200, about the same size. And you have this rather good Kangxi Famiver bowl. I think the bowl was around 8 inches in diameter. Beautifully done. Here's the bottom of it. Nice interior with the basket of flowers, the famous scene that you see most often in Qin-lung pieces, but they did do them back here. There it is. Nice looking bowl. And it went for $1,413 in near perfect condition with no hairlines or repairs. This is BK Treasures had this. They're a good seller. They're out in Illinois. They handle nice things. And then another bowl. This one was a bit of a bargain. This was a very attractive, about a 7 or 8 inch bowl in the Chinese taste. Had this rather nice floral interior in them. You also see this interior on export pieces. It was sort of a shared pattern, but this one is very Chinese in its feeling for the Chinese market. There's the foot, nice 18th century bowl. Had a couple of rim frits up here. These are rim frits. You can actually see where it blackened out, and it went for very little, $285. As I've said a million times, leave a bid if you're not sure. Always be willing to leave a bid, because you get things like this, and it was a very nice example. And then there was this rather nice, these Quanchan wares, the soft palette porcelains. This was a pretty one. I love the way the flowers were done and the way the bird was done. Very stylized. Had a seal mark on the back, and it brought $565. Not bad. Not a terrible price for that at all. Good piece. Okay, that was also BK Treasures. And then there was this teapot. I thought this teapot would do a little better. A few years ago, we had one like this. As I recall, it brought in the several thousand. Nice example, all inscribed, square form. Had a firing flaw here, which isn't that serious. And the original lid was in good shape, and a minor nick on the end of the spout. But that's all fairly trivial stuff for one of these teapots, that are used. Get nicked around a little bit. At any rate, this one went for just $898. So I think somebody got a very nice buy on that. And then we have this rather nice Kangxi, sort of a yen vase. He called it a yen vase. I'm not sure it's a yen, but it's pretty close. There it is. It's an 18th century vase, well decorated, good shape on it, about 8 inches tall, and it brought $591. Not bad. And getting along to here, this was the that nice pair of Chinese export mantle vases with covers, or mantle jars that sold. These are very nice. This is very good quality. It's sort of a stock pattern, this decoration that you're seeing on here with the women, with the mountains in the background and all that, but very popular. They started making a lot of these sort of post-1775. You see them around. But I love the handles on them. The handles are quite unusual, the way they stood up off the piece, and quite long. I mean, these are chimeras, and they cover, or dragons. They cover almost a third of the length of the vase, or a third anyway. And these did well. I thought they would. They did very well. They brought $6,555. Handsome pair with the food lines on top still intact. All right, and there's a number of things that are coming up that are closing today and tomorrow. We're going to get over to those that Ruware in a minute, but we still have some things up here that will be moved up on the newsletter. This very nice set of amber butterscotch graduated beads that Will has up. There's a good Ming Celadon vase in here, and some other pieces. So, and we'll be adding to it later on today. We've found a bunch of things we're going to put on here. They'll be on this page by the end of the day today. All righty. And now getting over to this. This was the highly important Ruware saucer or brush washer that sold. There it is. It has what's known as a cracked ice pattern on it. These are extremely rare, as you all know. And there's a good look at it. Beautiful color. The Ruwares do not turn up often in the market. There's only 3 or 4 of them out there that are known to be in private hands at this point. And they're famous for their glazes. Here it is. And they made very little of these. For those of you who are not that familiar with them, there are about 87 known examples in the world of these. There's 4 or 5 that they're currently debating. These are not like Guanware, so those other pieces that were done later. This came from the Ruzhou kiln, which was the small production, and they ended up sort of losing the kiln as they gave up territory during the Sung Dynasty. And so these were not made for that long a period of time. And there is a tremendous, if you go to the Sotheby's website, there is an outstanding write-up. It's basically everything you wanted to know about Ruware and the ice crackle brush washers. It talks about their 5 known vases of this in this glaze. There's a very good write-up here, and I think it's who did the write-up down here? Regina Krall did the other write-up. And what's really great is you might want to come over here and copy this if you're fascinated by this subject. There is a list. She has put on the list of all the known examples of Ruware and where you can find them, where you be able to see one. For example, if you're at the British Museum, the Percival collection has the David collection has one. The Victoria and Albert Museum has one, and there are some burned pieces out there because there was a famous fire that took place and a lot of them got damaged. But at any rate, there's a nice list. The National Museum in Beijing, the National Museum in Palace Museum in Beijing, and the National Palace Museum in Taipei all have some, and there's the list, all right? But it was a spectacular event. There was one that sold a few years ago for a little less than this, not much, but this bowl, this piece set a world record for a piece of Chinese porcelain, which was several $1 million over the price realized by the famous Chenhua chicken cup a couple of years ago. All right, so go and read up on it. It talks about the cultural importance of these really beautiful examples. Not all of them are crackle. Some of them have smooth glazes. Some of them are crackle glazes. They typically all have the little seed spur marks on the bottoms to keep it from getting kiln goo on it when it was being fired. Here's a wonderful shot of the profile. Very, very well potted. This is an outstanding example, and it brought a lot of money. All right, so that's it for this week, and thanks for stopping in to have a look, and we'll see you all next week, and thank you very much. Bye-bye.